There is some very exciting news that was recently announced for our friends at Tokyo Disneyland and Disneysea in Japan. They are not getting one or two, but three new themed lands with different restaurants and a new resort. Now, I usually don't get the opportunity to talk about the overseas Disney parks that much just because there's a lot going on at Walt Disney World and Disneyland and the Disney Cruise, but as you know, I want to continue growing as our community is growing together, and I'm hoping to visit some of these overseas Disney parks in the not so distant future. Now, you know Disney World is my home, nothing's going to change that, but the idea that some of these other Disney parks and the Disney Cruise Line are going to be expanding in the not so distant future is still extremely exciting. Now let's read into some of those details. The expansion at Tokyo Disney Sea will create an 8th themed port. There will be 3 distinct areas. You've got the Frozen area, Tangled area, and a new Peter Pan area. There will also be a brand new one-of-a-kind deluxe hotel with a luxury wing that will be the most luxurious accommodations ever at Tokyo Disney Resort. That all sounds absolutely incredible. I can only imagine the amount of technology that's going to go into this. If you look at some of those rides from Shanghai Disneyland, they've put a lot of tech into those rides. I can only imagine what these rides are going to be like. Luckily, Disney has given us a sneak peek into each of the 3 areas that's coming soon along with that new resort hotel. The first one is the Frozen Land. Guests will discover the Kingdom of Arendelle after the events in Frozen once the kingdom has opened its gates to visitors. A heartwarming new attraction will take guests by boat to experience the story of Elsa and Anna while enjoying iconic songs from the hit film, and a new restaurant will be located inside Arendelle Castle. Does this sound familiar to anyone? Can we think of a ride, you know, Frozen, where they're singing songs, iconic views? Yeah, Frozen Ever After from Norway and Epcot. I have a feeling this is going to be not maybe replicated, but in a general sense, we'll get something very similar to it in Tokyo Disneyland. But what about that restaurant that they were talking about, located inside Arendelle Castle? That sounds extremely interesting. If I had to guess, and this is just a guess, I would imagine that that restaurant will be very similar to a very popular, recent, very intense themed restaurant at Walt Disney World, Be Our Guest inside the Magic Kingdom. Disney has seen tremendous success from Be Our Guest, and you let me know what you think the biggest part of that restaurant is, but to me, the food is great, the service is great too, but what really brings the restaurant to life is the immersive, detailed theming throughout the entire thing, and I feel like that if they bring that same theming to Tokyo Disneyland, they're going to see the restaurant sell out just as quickly. Next up, Disney gives us more details about Rapunzel's tower and how we can experience more of the adventure. Guests can board gondolas, hold on to that thought, for a romantic tour of Rapunzel's best day ever as she continues her journeys with Flynn to the Lantern Festival for an unforgettable finale. Also on the menu is a restaurant inspired by the hideout of the humorous band of thugs in the movie. I See Snuggly Duckling coming to Tokyo Disneyland. It does sound absolutely incredible, but one thing to note, when they say gondola, I have a feeling they're talking about the boat-style gondola, not the one that's going to be used in the Skyliner at Walt Disney World. That one goes in the air. We're talking about the water gondola. I have a feeling it's going to be a boat ride experience. When they talk about an unforgettable finale, what my imagination goes to is that everyone kind of releases those lanterns and you see them all around you, both virtually on screens and maybe rising up from other boats around you, and it's just part of the ride. I can imagine Disney taking the theming to the next level with this attraction. Along with the ride, the restaurant also sounds great. Can you imagine the amount of theming that would go into the Snuggly Duckling? Maybe there'll be live music, maybe there won't be, but you can imagine the rustic look in the chair and maybe the music in the background. I can envision a very cool restaurant. The next area that Disney told us about was themed after Neverland, including Captain Hook's pirate ship and Skull Rock. This area will feature 2 new attractions and a restaurant inspired by the Lost Boys hideout. In the first attraction, guests will fly over the jungles of Neverland with Peter Pan to rescue Wendy's younger brother John in a battle with Captain Hook. The second attraction will immerse guests in the world of Pixie Hollow, where Tinkerbell and her fairy friends live. Now, when I first read about this on the Disney Parks blog, where you can find the full article which I've linked in the description of this video, I was thinking that they would duplicate the Peter Pan Land ride that we have at Walt Disney World. Sure enough, I did my homework. They already have that ride, so they're probably getting something entirely new. But when I hear that they're going to be flying off, I wonder, are they going to use the same flying ship kind of style that they use at Peter Pan's Flight, or is it something entirely new? We'll have to wait and see. When I first read about Tinkerbell and her fairy friends and where they live, my brain immediately said it's going to be a meet and greet, but Disney clearly states that it is the second attraction, so it's something entirely different. They don't give us any other clues. I can only imagine us like flying over something, maybe shrinking down to the size of a ferry. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways Disney could do this. Now it's on to the new resort, and it's going to be themed to Disney fantasy. The hotel will rise above and around the magical springs of the new themed port, featuring 475 deluxe and luxury guest rooms, 2 restaurants, and a merchandise shop. Let me translate a little bit of Disney speech for you. When they say themed to Disney fantasy, that means it could be anything. Absolutely anything. The theming could be anything from Up to a character, to a brand new attraction, to an oceanographer's dream under the ocean. It could be anything. No matter what it is though, I have a feeling it's going to be magical. They say it's going to be totally deluxe. I have a feeling it's going to be rather expensive, but themed super well. As I take a closer look at the artist rendering of this proposed new Disney resort, it has this grand feeling to it. Ocean and grand. You look at that like window at the top, kind of feels like Ariel a little bit, along with a little bit of Grand Floridian. Not necessarily Floridian, but something with a lot of grandeur to it. I cannot wait to see what Disney does with this one. After going over all of this, it really makes me think about the future. Should I wait until this construction is done, or maybe I should see Tokyo Disneyland Disney Sea before the construction even begins? I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted here. I don't want to put things off for too long. Maybe I should go to a different overseas park first. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Let me know what you would like to see and experience with me, what you're looking forward to in the future, and if you've been to Tokyo Disneyland Disney Sea before, what was your favorite part about it and what are you looking forward to most with this expansion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. No matter where our future adventures take us, whether it's Tokyo Disneyland Disney Sea, Shanghai, Alani, another Disney cruise, I have no doubt they'll be absolutely magical. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.